Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming to watch. So this episode is going to be about how I treat my kids' viruses. Now you have to know that I am very against antibiotics when it comes to viruses, not antibiotics in general. And you have to... Okay guys, so these are just some of the things that I use just to cut the story short. When my kids have a cold or a flu, or they're going through bronchitis or any kind of virus that has to do with the upper respiratory system or lower really. And I'll talk a little bit about the humidifier that I use and talk a little bit about that in this video. But basically here we have the vapor pads for the humidifier. So I was saying about the antibiotics is that when we intake them, they do get absorbed by our body. But if we don't have a virus in order for the antibiotics to kill, then what happens is our body continues to become resistant to them and our body gets used to them, our immunity. So when it comes to a point where we actually do need the antibiotic, then it's not going to work anymore. And the doctors would wonder why it's taking 2 weeks for something to clear up that takes 1 week, let's just say. And then they would have to seek to prescribe something else that would work. So that's actually the main issue. This is the humidifier that I use. Technically, you can use any kind of humidifier, and I set it to low and medium. I try to refill it every day with fresh water. These vapor pads go right into the humidifier, and I like to use these not at night but during the day, because sometimes when the room is small it can really get congested with this particular smell of lavender. The reason why I love the humidifier, first of all, because it's kind of like a night treatment. It is a day treatment and a night treatment, so it sends moisture into the air that our lungs can absorb. So let's say we have mucus built up, it's something that, or like a dry cough, it's something that will allow that mucus to detach and come out with the cough. So it's something that will help us through the night and throughout the day. But another thing is, like in America, I know that it's a little bit dry, a little bit dry environment than, let's say, where we came from Ukraine. So when I came here, automatically I felt in my nostrils and my throat that it was like getting so dry that at night I kept drinking a lot of water and it was starting to itch, and I felt like pain in my throat. So I bought the humidifier right away, right after that. So basically it allows us to sort of, our lungs to drink water. That's also one way that we could get hydrated, which is what our body needs when we have a fever, when we have clogged airways with the mucus. So that's one thing that's works a lot better than drinking like Mucinex or something like that. Another thing that I really like to use, and I think you guys know a lot about it, is the nose Frida. This one particularly I got at CVS or Walgreens, and I got it for $20. Now, it wasn't that expensive because it does come with the saline solution, 120 milliliters. And we all know that when our kids, like in the middle of the night, that's when they kind of get sicker in those days, and their noses get clogged up, and there's just really no way they're gonna blow it out. They don't really know how to, under 2 years old at least. That's how old my oldest toddler is. And we suck it out, and then after that we put in the saline solution, and that helps because it helps to decrease the excretion of mucus. So if your toddler is not interested, or baby, in drinking, like let's say if they're a baby over 6 months and they're not interested in drinking plain water, because honestly I think some of us don't really like the taste of water all the time and it gets boring, we try to make something in there that has sugar in it. So juice, even soda, guys, I'm being honest with you. If they are a toddler, like, you know, close to 2 years old, I practice giving soda, because sometimes you just need for them to get that water in their system, or else that fever is not going to go down. They're going to get dehydrated, and then they're going to lose a lot of like sodium and just a lot of electrolytes that. So I picked this up. It's Nighttime Cold and Cough by Highlands. Now this is homeopathic, that's what it says. I don't think it costs that much more. It's from 2 to 12 years old, so they don't unfortunately have under 2 years old. It says relieves congestion, runny nose, sore throat, sneezing, cough, postnasal drip, and occasional sleeplessness. So I took this syrup particularly for the sleeplessness, because they get congested, they start coughing, and they kind of get a runner in it because they don't know what's going on. They start to panic, they start to cry, and you really don't know how to calm them down. So it just makes your night more confident that, you know, they're going to be rested, they're going to be be calm and they're not going to let that cough bother them too much. I just wanted to speak to all the moms at the end and let you know that it shouldn't bother you if you're not doing anything, if you're not buying any meds particularly, and you're not kind of like stuffing it into your child, because I think like what I've heard a lot is like you got to treat them some way. But the biggest effort that you can do is, like I said, buy that humidifier, make sure it's on, make sure it has water, make sure it's working, make sure you're giving enough water to your child, make sure you're feeding them, make sure you're that they're not too hot under covers, making sure they're wearing light clothes if they're like sweating, changing their clothes. So all the things that help the immune system do its work, because I believe that kids have a very strong immune system. But like I said, like if they are a little bit weaker, maybe they need vitamins, maybe they need probiotics. Your immune system needs time to build antigens and then fight off the virus completely. And it's just, we want that, you know, one-time pill that we can just drink and everything's okay. Even adults want that. But the doctors, they shouldn't be pressured to give you that, because then it becomes so popular that really the kids that have low immune system, they're going to take those antibiotics and then they're going to be really dependent on them. So I've just been talking too much, but I would just like to say thank you for everybody who was watching. And like I said, leave a comment down below if you have another opinion, or you just want to have any ideas about content, or you want to ask me a question. I'm all about that. And if you can please put a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. And thank you so much for sticking around. Bye.